instead of,
Yes.
you know, because it's difficult to have to go park, first of all, but now I think you can pull your application online, is that right? At the Secretary of State's office.
Yes, you can do a lot of your stuff on the Secretary of State's office. What I like to do also with the website at the county clerk's office is I like to utilize it more. And I'd like to do online requests, like for the title companies, you know, if they want to request a certain document, that they could request it through the computer, pay for it, and then it could be transmitted over. So I like to use a lot more technology where letting our hands do the walking through the computer, because, you know, we're to that point. And
It's a new generation now too.
Yeah, and you know, and I like when you were county clerk, I loved all the ideas you had. And I'd like to build on those ideas that you had then and build onto them even more, because you were just a very dynamic, you know, county clerk where, you know, you were there for the people. And that's how I feel, is I'm there for the people and I want to empower.
Good. Well, you know, it was always, you always have to prove yourself. And so
Yes.
I remember winning with 84% of the vote, and I just thought that was just so, you know, it's just so awesome. And to, you know, give back and be there and make things easy for the public, because you even have the probate office there.
Yes.
You have, you know, all the county employees are wonderful employees there. Everybody's, you know, always at work and ready to serve.
Yes.
And so, yeah, I know that there's many divisions within the Santa Fe County.
Yes, and I'd like
And
to
you know, you have the sheriff's departments, and they patrol with you on election day to make sure everything's okay, and each office has its own, you know, the treasurer, the county managers, your commissioners, and so there's a lot going on there.
Yeah, and too, it's like, what I like to do is, I know that we bring in probably about 700,000 a year, and I'd like to increase that to even more. So I mean, I think a lot, if we can make access easier with a computer system, I think we can get more people wanting to use our site more than, you know, like for example the Secretary of State site, you know, bring it back to us. And also I'd like to work with the League of Women Voters. And the reason I like to is because they're nonpartisan, and they have really great ideas.
They do, and they'll let you know.
Well, I was on the board of the League of Women Voters back in the day. I think I was in my early 30s. So that was a very interesting...
And they're very astute, and they know what they're doing, and when they make recommendations, you need to listen and implement, because, you know, even at the PRC, they've helped us with, you know, some guidance and what their expectations are and what they think would make it a better place. And we've actually, you know, taken into consideration a lot of their recommendations. And I know a lot of them. They're very, you know, like I say, highly involved, and they dedicate and devote so much of their time to attending meetings.
Yes.
And so they're very considerate, and
Yes.
they take the time. I don't know where they get the time, but they do. So you've got to give them a lot of credit.
Yes, and also too, I'd like to work with the Native Americans, and I'd like to. I think they do have a liaison, but doesn't work in the clerk's office. I think works in the manager's office. But I'd like to have one staffed in the clerk's office so that we could do outreach with the Native Americans to make sure that they have all the resources that they need. And because when I'm looking at the different precincts, they come out to vote. The Native Americans really come out to vote.
They sure do. And you know, I think there's an interest in getting more of their people to register.
Yes, and then too, I think what we need to do, and this is what I just see from just traveling throughout the county, and you probably saw it when you were there, it's the rural areas feel like the stepchildren, because they, like when I did door to door up in the north. I mean, literally door to door.
And that's part of Santa Fe County.
Yes.
And there's areas like Cundio, Chimayo, La Puebla, and yeah, you're right. They do feel that way, because then they have to drive into Santa Fe proper to take care of all their business, whether it's pay their taxes, register to vote.
Yes.
And so, you know, we've always talked about satellite offices, not only in in that area, but satellite offices in Edgewood
Yes.
and those areas that
Even in Glorieta.
belong. Mm-hmm.
And you know what, that's what I'd like to do, is do outreach community meetings with the outer part of the county, and so that I can, you know, gather information on what they would need from me so that I can make an election easier, you know, just the different ideas, because your satellite office in Edgewood was closed as well.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
So you've been out in Edgewood and throughout the county, and you know how big the county is.
Oh God, from one end to the other, it's just really, it's a big county.
I know Rio Arriba, the area in the La Puebla area and the Arroyo Seco, some people are wanting to see Rio Arriba get the Santa Fe County portion of the, tax base. So I think they're trying to sever and become part of Rio Arriba since they are located within the boundaries, but then there are others that don't want to see that happen. So,
and that is really unique, because Santa Cruz in that area is right in
Santa Fe County.
Yeah, and it's in Espanola.
And it's in Espanola, not even a block away.
Oh God, yeah. And I've seen, what I've seen is the McDonald's and the different businesses that are in Santa Fe County have moved out and moved further down to where they are in Rio Arriba. And it's just because of the tax base, that the taxes are a little bit different in the Rio Arriba County.
I think they're thinking that the property taxes are much higher in Santa Fe. They pay that, but then you have the argument. There's different arguments. Some people want to stay within Santa Fe County, so they have the services, and so there's always been that issue. So I think right now they're going to put it on the ballot and let the voters decide.
Yes, and what I also learned too is that the county closer to Espanola, they're even the services. I mean, nobody wants to go out there from the county because they feel like, oh, you're in Espanola, call Espanola city government, and they'll say, no, you're in Santa Fe County, call your county officials. So it's like a.
I think it's a jurisdictional issue, and so that happens even with the who's going to respond, and so.
Yeah, but
anyway, well, I'm really impressed to hear that maybe I can have you help my granddaughter. We got to all we all hate math, but since you have a math major, maybe I have you tutor her in math, because we want our kids to have math, science, and have good jobs. But math seems to be hard for them. Yes,
and and it's what it's so sad is that when you look at when you look at a man and a woman with the same employer but making less, I think we need to work on making it equal. And that's one thing I'd like to do in the county clerk's office, is starting to cut down the administration side, like the cost of paper and all this stuff, and start giving our employees raises. And I don't know
and the poll workers.
And the poll workers, yeah, of course.
It makes for a very long day.
Yes.
If you think about it, you've got to be there by 7, so you know that you better get up at 5:30, be there at least by 6, make sure the buildings are open.
Yes.
And then they don't get done till 7 p.m.
Yes.
And so really they don't finish at 7, because by the time they bring back the ballot boxes and it makes for a very late night. So I would agree with you. And sometimes it's difficult. It's not difficult to get the poll workers raises, but it is difficult sometimes to get raises. If there's no budget, you can't give raises at any level, wherever you're at, state government, county, city, if there's no budget, but employees certainly do, with the cost of living here in Santa Fe, they certainly do need raises. And so.
Oh yeah, I totally agree. I mean, I think if we work as a team within that office and cut certain areas, I think we could, and then increase the participation of the title companies on going online and using us more often, and increasing that budget to be a higher budget. I think then we can probably look at coming up with an idea to give raises, and then to bring in a liaison and maybe a grant writer. But there's so many different awesome stuff out there that we can come up with, and that's why I haven't given up.
And I was going to take
will
you
not
back
give
to
up.
that. Good for you. You're not giving up, and you're going to run, and you're going to until you win, right?
You
You know,
got
didn't
it.
Abe Lincoln run how many times? 7.
7 times, and he believed in the people, and he believed in them so much. Poor guy got killed, shot. It's like, but hey, I guess that when you believe in something so much, you just don't give up, and that's what I instilled in my children: is you don't give up, you continue on. You know, a lot of times people run for an office and they go away. No, don't go away and hide. Stay out. If you believe in it, keep on going, and you'll get in there eventually. You know, so. But I thank you for having me on this show, and I ask anybody and everybody for your support, because you know what? Once I get in, you're going to see so many dynamic things that are going to happen, and I'd like to continue on your legacy.
Well, thank you. That means a lot to me, and I want to wish you a lot of luck. And if there was something that you had to say to the public about yourself, and you know who you are, and you know, what would you say as you talk to the audience?
I have integrity, and I'm honest, and when I say I'm going to do something, I will continue, and I will finish all that I say that I plan for this office. And I think we need to re-energize the office, the voters, and energize just our children. So it's time. We're going into the 21st century, and we need to start thinking about what is out there and utilize our technology, and being inclusive with everybody.
That's right. It's impartial. You need to be in that capacity. You have to represent all parties. You cannot, just, you can't. You may get elected as a Democrat, but like myself, you represent everybody equally, whether they're Green, Independent, Republicans. It's required of not only yourself as a candidate for Santa Fe County Clerk, but even at the Secretary of State's level.
Yes, exactly. You have to have nonpartisan, but also too, it's like a lot of my background is I was born in a union family, and by being born into a union family, you didn't see any party affiliation, because they marched together to make changes happen. And if it wasn't for our unions, actually we wouldn't have a lot of things that we have today. And so that's where I started off in politics. It was my grandfather, and he's a veteran. I come from a large family of veterans, and I believe in our veterans very highly, because they served for us, and we need to take care of them too. Our seniors.
And our seniors, don't forget them.
Yes,
a lot of seniors like to work still, and be part of the community. A lot of seniors that I knew were poll workers, and they were just wonderful and had great helpers, and I still miss them a lot. I miss everybody there, and
they probably all miss you too, so I can tell you that. But yeah, our senior, our children, I mean everybody. So that's being inclusive with everybody, and just like I've been taught that knowledge is power, and when you have people in your office that have great ideas, use them, explore them. Don't be intimidated, because you always want your employees to be smarter than you, even though you may be.
That's right. I used to surround myself with the best of the best. And,
yes.
And I give, Denise Lamb and Shirley Hooper. I had so many wonderful people and I continue to this day to surround myself with good people. And so they're part of your success. Anyhow, I want to thank you all for watching our program. And if you'd like to appear on my program, give me a call at 827-4533. I want to wish all the candidates good luck. And I know it's not easy, so keep knocking.
And I thank you for allowing me to be on your show. And I just ask the supporters, just remember, Letitia Montoya.
All righty. Well, good luck to you always.
Thank you.